So Ben, obviously you were born up here. What was it like growing up in the North East with the grassroots football?
I loved it. Played with my friends. I think I played for Concert. Played for Concert all the way up under 14s. Like I said, played with my friends. Football, as you know, over here it's like religion. Just love playing football all the time in the streets. Then obviously we'd play on a Sunday. It was back then. Like I said, loved it, and yeah, it was a really special time.
And obviously from grassroots, then when you started your career, it was Man United as a trainee. How did that come about?
Yeah, I was actually playing for the school team at the time. I think I was in year 5, so I was still young. And I remember my dad called in and said, "Oh, Man United want you to go and train," which was brilliant. But they had like a local centre up here in the North East, so there was quite a few of us that would go to the training there. And I signed a School of Excellence, so I had to stop playing grassroots at 14. So when I was 14, I had to stop playing for Concert. And I would travel down to Manchester on a Friday and play for the under 14s, 15s on a Sunday, and come back on the Sunday. So it was 4 lads. So we used to get the train down on a Friday night. We would stay in digs on the Saturday, play on the Sunday, and then be back to school on the Monday. But it was great, you know, great education. We used to train up here on a Thursday and a Tuesday with other lads that were at different clubs. So there's some lads from Chelsea, Sheffield Wednesday. We would all train together, and obviously we would go off on our different directions at the weekend.
And then after that, you came back up to Sunderland. Is that right?
Yeah, so I was at Man United, as I say, the schoolboys. I got offered a 1-year scholarship with a 3-year pro, which was great, but I just couldn't settle, to be honest. I'm a bit of a homeboy, loved the North East, and I just said, you know, I tried it and I couldn't settle. I came home. Then I had an opportunity to sign for a few clubs, but I signed for Sunderland, which was great. I was there for 5 years, made my debut there. Again, loved it. Loved being at home. It was a time when Sunderland finished, you know, 7th in the Premier League. The club was really good, flying, and I loved it. Yeah.
And then obviously from Sunderland, you went to Hartlepool. Yeah. Obviously staying in the North East. What was that like?
Yeah, it was great. I think at Sunderland I probably needed to leave a little bit earlier. I think I played 15 times for the club. It was hard for me because, you know, I loved it there, but I think when I left there I was 21, and that's when I think my education started at Hartlepool, really playing men's football week in, week out. First year we got the League One playoff final. We lost there to Sheffield Wednesday. The next season we got relegated, which was tough. The season after that we got promoted. So I think I learned all aspects of football when I was at Hartlepool. Again, great changing rooms, great lads, and like I said, I had 6 years there, which I loved, and that took us to when I was 6, 7 years there, and I was 28 when I left there, and then I came to Gateshead.
And what was that like, joining Gateshead? Because obviously now you're classed as like an icon at the club. So what's it like when you first started out at the club?
Again, I had a couple of options to go away, to move away, but I had a young family at the time. My kids were in school, but I met Ian Bogie, Graham Wood, and they just sold the club to us, and ever since then I just loved it. Again, great changing room, the best changing room I've ever been in, and if I'm honest, at Gateshead, like James Curtis, Phil Turnbull, Craig Baxter, you know, James Marwood, these type of people, great lads, Jamie Chandler, lovely lads, again, all local lads, which was great. And like I said, I've been there, associated with the club now for 11 years, and it's a club that I really love. I love the area. I love the people from Gateshead. Really down to earth people, tell you how it is, and it's a fantastic football club.
And when you first joined, it wasn't long after that you were made club captain. What was that experience like? Obviously, captaining your team through them years. Yeah,
it was great. I mean, I came from being a full-time professional, and I think the first year I signed, the first year I signed at Gateshead, it was the first year Gateshead were going full-time. Mm-hmm. And I think Bogues liked the professional that I brought into the club as it regarding to training. You know, I used to train properly and do things properly. A little bit of a winner. Like to win any kind of game that we did. And I think Bogues liked that, and he made us club captain, and it was brilliant. Again, it was working with good people, trying to get the best, trying to develop the younger players, and just lead by example. It was a great honour for me.
And speaking of Gateshead, obviously on Saturday managed to get to Wembley. What was your experience like at Wembley? Because obviously you played off in the playoff final.
Yeah, in the playoff final, we got to the playoff final. We finished third under Gary Mills, which was fantastic. To this day, it's probably my worst day in football. How daft it sounds, you know, getting to Wembley was great, but it's only worth it if you win, I think. It's a game that I've never really revisited back really for myself, because it probably, well, it hurts too much. You know, you go as an objective to try and get the Gateshead back into the Football League, which was something that I wanted to do for so many different people at the club, the supporters, because they've always been great with me, the owner at the time, the management team at the time, and the players that I've played with. Great to see, obviously, the club at Wembley. It was fantastic, but it's only worth it if you win. Like I said, I've never really revisited, gone back to it, but yeah, it was really special.
And it must be hard because like Wembley, it's one of the biggest arenas, big stadiums in the UK. So you would think like it's the great achievement getting there. But what was the experience like? Obviously, getting there was great, but when you were on the pitch, what was the feeling?
Oh, it's brilliant. Like you see, every boy or young lad or young girl probably dream of playing at Wembley. It's such an iconic place. You think of all the greats that have played there. You want to walk up the steps and lift the trophy. That's was something I was desperate to do as a captain. I didn't quite manage it. But like I say, it is a very magical place, and to see the Gateshead badge walking up to Wembley at the time was magnificent, and we're very lucky and very excited that we get to do that again soon.
And after Gateshead, I was reading up and I didn't realise that you'd went to South Shields for a little bit after that. So how was the experience, obviously going from a club like Gateshead to another North East club to South Shields?
Yeah, it was great. I only went there on loan because I wasn't in at the time at Gateshead. I was 34. I wasn't playing regular, and the manager at the time, Neil Aspin, said, "Oh, listen, Shields want you to go." And to be fair, Shields was a very well-run club, very professional. I think we went there and we were in the Northern League, I think, at the time, and I think we had something ridiculous. I think we won 5-6-0, 7-0. And then I realised that I didn't want to keep dropping down the leagues for myself personally, because I was getting that little bit older. I thought, well, I have to think about my long-term goal. What am I going to be doing after football? And Gateshead, luckily at the time, offered me a job. So I think at 34, you know, well, everybody says I still could have played, but I just think I didn't really want to play for any other club bar Gateshead. I think I had me time there. It was my club. I was training all the time at Gateshead, and it didn't feel right me going and playing for Shields at the weekends. And you know, probably a little bit hastily at the time. I remember I got injured at Shields, and I just remember I was sitting in the changing room, and I just thought, "Oh, Ben, this might be time for you to pack in." So.
And then obviously you retired, but you went into a managerial career with Gateshead. What was it like going from being club captain to now as the manager running the whole team?
It was great. You know, I had a couple of years working with Mickey Cummins and the under-19s, which was fantastic. Learning my trade, learning how to deal with people. You know, planning sessions, learning what to work on through the week. And when you were the under-19s job, there's always a chance that you could get the caretaker role at the club when, you know, if a manager leaves. And we had Steve Watson at the time, who was doing great for the club. But the club behind the scenes was a little bit of a mess, and Steve got the opportunity to go to York, which is a big football club, and Steve went, and the owners at the time just asked me if I would take temporary charge, and I did that, and I said I would only do it if I could bring Busted in and Mike at the time, who were two fantastic people, and we did that, and we did well, to be fair. We finished 9th in the conference, but we subsequently got relegated because of things off the pitch, which was a real low.
Yeah, and then obviously when Mike came in, it brought them back up, and now you're back in the National League. It was a brilliant experience last season, winning the league. What was how did it feel in the dressing room? Obviously, you still attached to it. So
yeah, it was amazing. You know, Mike and Busted are very good to me. They let me be around the place, and you know, they ask us questions and things like that. They let me get involved with training sometimes, which is great. Obviously, I've moved away now. I do the club foundation, which I love, but I'm still associated with the football club as well. Yeah, it was magnificent to see the lads progress, and also Busted and Mike, really, to see them progress as a management team. It's fantastic. They're very thorough. We brought Louis Story in, which was brilliant, who's been excellent for us. We've brought Robbie Elliott in. We brought Chris Bell in, the physio, and there's a real tight group between them. And yeah, to see the lads develop was something I really enjoyed, and the football we played as well. It's been really good. The way I think football should be played.
Yeah, and like you mentioned there, the foundation, you do a lot of stuff with that. Can you talk a bit more about that?
Yeah, it's something that we built up over the last 2 years. You know, it's something I love, again, out in the community and going into schools, doing the PE lessons, doing the after school clubs, coming here, Cleveland Tour, which I absolutely love, doing the walking football, join in, get a lot of stick all the time, but I do love it. Up here we've got 5 or 6 walking footballs, we've got some out of reach programs that we do after school, we've got the holiday clubs that are always full. It's fantastic. I think you get to see the people of Gateshead, the northeast people, and it's fantastic. And the amount of Gateshead shirts that I see now when I go into the schools and the football camps, it's really good and something that I'm really proud of.
And you've talked about from your grassroots to then obviously your end of your career and your managerial. What would you say the best moment of your career is? I think I've been very lucky. I was fortunate to represent my country as a young, under 15, 16-year-old, played for England. I've played at Wembley, the old Wembley, twice against Argentina and Brazil, which were fantastic as a young lad, like as a youth, grassroots football. But I would probably say the proudest part of my career is, I don't know, it is tough. I've had a promotion with Hartlepool, which I loved, which was fantastic. But I think captain Gateshead to Wembley that whole year, and not just that whole year, I think the whole time at Gateshead's been my best part, because that's what I've enjoyed the most. I think that's when I knew who I was as a person as well. I've got a young family, happy, a wife and everything. So I probably think my time at Gateshead as a whole has been my best part. And if there was one bit of advice that you would give to any young lad that wants to play football for maybe gear to push a bit higher, what's the advice that you'd give? First
of all is enjoy it, right? Enjoy what you do. You can always get better. Practice all the time. And just enjoy it, really. Listen to your coaches. Ask questions of your coaches. Don't be afraid to ask questions if you're not right. But the overall thing is enjoy it. Let the kids play, let them enjoy it, and that's my biggest advice I would give it. And keep working. You can always get better.
That's brilliant. Thank you very much.
Cheers.